Welcome, everyone, especially our Australian business owners and C-level executives tuning into The Deep Dive. I'm Lex.
And I'm Vera. We're from the C9 podcast show.
And if you're constantly, juggling payment processes, trying to get that cash flow right, and really aiming to lift your customer experience, well, this deep dive is definitely for you.
Absolutely. Today we're going to unpack some pretty crucial insights. We're looking at how Australian businesses like yours can genuinely streamline financial operations.
Yeah.
We'll be exploring a solution that's really designed to give you much tighter control over those financial processes, turning sort of common headaches into real advantages.
Exactly right. Our focus today specifically is C9's Ezidebit integration services for Australian businesses. It's really about using powerful payment tools to, well, take firm control of your finances. But we want to go a bit deeper than just the surface stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Our mission here is simple: to arm you with solid knowledge. We want you walking away feeling well-informed about a solution that's built, specifically for the unique ways Australian businesses operate and the compliance needs here.
Right. So maybe let's just start at the beginning. What exactly is Ezidebit integration, fundamentally?
Good question.
Well, at its heart, it's basically the process of connecting your existing business software, whatever you're using now, directly to Ezidebit's payment platform.
Okay.
Think of it like building a really solid, secure bridge between systems. This lets businesses safely and efficiently take direct debit payments. It automates the collection side of things.
Automation, keyword.
Huge. And crucially, it links all that payment info directly back into the systems you already use. So it's more than just taking a payment. It's making payments a smooth, integrated part of how your business actually runs day to day.
Okay, I can immediately see the appeal there. That sounds like a huge relief for anyone just tired of constantly chasing payments, that reactive cycle. So we're talking about a shift from maybe uncertainty to something much more predictable, a proactive financial flow.
That's the goal, yes.
And I guess that predictability, especially for cash flow forecasting, that must be a massive game changer for businesses here.
Oh, definitely. What's really insightful is how Ezidebit doesn't just automate the payment task itself.
Right.
It really shifts how Australian businesses tackle those ongoing cash flow headaches. Like, think about the sheer unpredictability of chasing manual invoices, right? And then the reconciliation nightmare that follows.
Yeah, been there.
Ezidebit integration hits that directly. It sets up predictable payment schedules by automating recurring payments from your customers.
Okay.
This massively cuts down delays and gives you real-time visibility into your cash flow. And that visibility is just vital for accurate forecasting, for stability, especially in Australia's kind of dynamic market.
So it's not just a back office thing then, not just making the accounts team happier, though I'm sure they are. It sounds like it also really improves the experience for your actual Australian customers.
It absolutely does, and that's so crucial for keeping customers happy, keeping them loyal.
How does that work in practice?
Well, integrating with Ezidebit gives customers a really convenient, super secure direct debit option. And that's widely trusted, preferred by a lot of people in Australia.
Sure.
But C9 Service actually goes further. Their integration opens up choices like credit card and even BPAY.
BPAY, yeah, that's a big one here.
Right, and it's all linked seamlessly. That flexibility, giving people choices they already know and trust, it just caters to what different customers prefer. It makes paying effortless for them. And that, in turn, boosts satisfaction, boosts retention. It smooths out those little friction points that sometimes silently cause customers to leave.
Yeah, it makes sense. Just making it easy for people to give you money, especially with familiar methods like BPAY. It removes a barrier.
Yeah.
Okay, let's switch gears slightly. For our listeners who are maybe a bit more technical, perhaps overseeing IT systems, can you elaborate on how this integration actually happens? Are we talking robust APIs, direct connectors? What kind of IT resources might be needed?
Good point.
And importantly, what about specific Australian security standards? Does it align with things like ASIC or APRI guidelines or PCI DSS for card data?
Yeah, that touches on building a really unified system, and that's where, frankly, C9's expertise becomes pretty critical.
Right.
Ezidebit integrates really smoothly using secure APIs. These allow for strong, real-time data exchange with a whole range of existing business systems people are likely already using.
Like what kind of systems?
We're talking popular accounting software, think Xero, QuickBooks, so payment data flows straight into your financial ledgers. Reconciliation, automated, easy. It also hooks into CRM systems, Salesforce, HubSpot, those kinds of platforms. This keeps your customer records instantly updated with payment statuses, which is vital for, a single customer view, better relationship management.
Okay.
And for online businesses, it links seamlessly with e-commerce platforms too, Shopify, WooCommerce. So payments are handled smoothly right from the point of sale online.
So it's definitely not just sitting off to the side then. It becomes a proper part of your existing digital setup.
Exactly, not a silo.
That must simplify things hugely on the accounting side. Customer management, too. Just eliminating that manual data entry must save so much time.
It really does, yeah. For accounting, you get automated payment tracking, that seamless reconciliation we mentioned, and comprehensive reporting. It saves a ton of time, reduces effort, cuts down financial complexity.
About the compliance side, security.
Crucial. C9 ensures their secure integration processes stick to Australian payment regulations and, really robust data security standards. This involves using industry-leading encryption and aligning with principles that support PCI DSS compliance for handling card data safely. It's about safeguarding that sensitive information with extreme care.
Good.
Builds trust, gives peace of mind for the business and, just as importantly, for their Australian customers.
Okay, digging a bit deeper now into what really makes C9 stand out here. Materials mentioned Australian customization and having a local expert team. Can you unpack that a bit? Why is that so important for businesses operating specifically here in Australia? What's the real advantage?
Yeah, that Australian customization point is key. It basically means C9 tailors the Ezidebit integration very precisely.
Tailored how?
So the solution is specifically designed around the unique operational workflows you find in Australian businesses and also the intricate compliance rules specific to our regulatory environment here.
Right, not a generic global template.
Exactly. And their experts are based here in Australia. They provide dedicated local support. They genuinely understand the nuances of our payment landscape, the specific challenges and needs businesses face in this market.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not one size fits all. It's deeply rooted in the Australian context.
Got it. Now, thinking beyond just the nuts and bolts of payment processing, how does this kind of integration really move the needle on a C-level dashboard? What's the strategic return on investment from, say, better cash flow predictability, or the longer-term impact of happier customers on market share for an Australian company?
Okay, yeah, let's connect it to the bigger picture. Strategically, Ezidebit integration supports business growth in a few really key ways. It impacts those top-level outcomes.
Such as?
Well, first, by making it super easy for customers to pay regularly, especially on recurring plans or subscriptions, it can directly lead to increased sales. More predictable recurring revenue. That's a direct boost to the top line.
Right. More reliable income.
Definitely. It also helps cut down customer churn quite significantly.
Really? How so?
We've seen data suggesting customers often ditch subscriptions, not because they hate the service, but just because the payment process was, clunky or inflexible.
The friction points again.
Exactly. By simplifying how subscriptions and payments are managed, Ezidebit makes it effortless, and that directly increases customer lifetime value, keeps them around longer.
So fewer people dropping off, more consistent income stream. This sounds like a pretty direct path to growth. What about freeing up internal resources? High-value staff time.
That's another huge benefit, especially for C-level focus. Ezidebit integration drastically cuts down the internal workload.
Oh.
By automating that whole payment process end-to-end, it eliminates tedious manual tasks like chasing down payments, even automates the reconciliation piece we talked about.
Right.
That frees up significant valuable time and resources, and businesses can then redirect that energy towards, strategic growth things like product development, market expansion, maybe customer acquisition efforts.
Instead of just admin.
Precisely. Instead of getting bogged down in administrative tasks, it's really about empowering your team to work smarter. Focus on things that directly impact your competitive edge.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. What does this all really mean for you, the Australian business owner or C-level executive listening in?
Well, I think we've seen how integrating Ezidebit, especially with your existing systems, can genuinely transform how you collect payments.
Yeah.
From automating those recurring payments, really improving cash flow predictability, giving you that real-time visibility.
Right, and enhancing customer satisfaction, too, by offering those flexible options people actually use here, like direct debit, credit card, and BPA.
Exactly. And a really crucial point that came through is how C9's specific approach sets them apart. That Australian customization, having a local expert team right here, and their end-to-end support.
And the security aspect.
Absolutely. They ensure robust security, compliance with Australian data protection standards, using top-tier encryption to safeguard sensitive data. That's all about managing risk and building trust.
And looking beyond the immediate process improvements, this integration, it seems, is fundamentally about driving measurable business growth.
Yeah, by cutting down that internal workload, boosting sales through easier recurring payments, and reducing customer churn.
You free up valuable time, valuable resources to actually focus on those bigger strategic goals, things that directly impact your bottom line, your position in the market.
Spot on. So if you're an Australian business owner or a C-level executive out there, and you're looking to really revolutionize your payment systems.
Remember the name, C9. They're Australia's leading custom software, apps, integration, and database developer company.
And to explore these solutions in more detail, see how C9 can specifically tailor Ezidebit integration for your business, just head over to their website.
That's www.c9.com.au. Pretty easy to remember.
And while you're thinking about it, don't forget to hit that follow button wherever you're listening so you get more deep dives like this one.
Yeah, please do. And maybe share this information. Pass it along to anyone else in your network who you think could benefit from a more efficient, more secure, and definitely more customer-friendly payment process.
And maybe just one final thought to leave you with. Consider this. In today's increasingly digital, increasingly competitive world, how much more potential for growth, maybe even market leadership, could your business unlock simply by making it effortlessly easy for your Australian customers to pay you, consistently, securely, and at the same time freeing up your most valuable internal resources to focus on what's next?
Something definitely worth thinking about.